Good evening and welcome to Sci-Fi Writers playing old school D&D. We're doing D&D After Dark, and we got our usual cast of cranky characters here. J Mac joining us from the wilds.
Sunny Hawaii.
We love it. We love it. And we got Mike Rothman, oh my goodness, hanging out with us. J.R. Hanley, and of course, Nick Chaos Actual Cole. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Do I have any lag now?
You sound fantastic.
Oh, man, finally. I mean, just the fantastic part I can care about. Like, you care less about the lag.
Sinokin is saying, fancy seeing you all here again. And Captain Kilgosha, hi, how goes it? What's up? So how did we do today?
I think we did great. I think we had fun. It was a fun big battle sequence that I felt was brilliantly led by myself. I've already put myself in for Bronze Star with V because I went in and I had direct contact with the enemy. So with V right there. But no, it was kind of fun managing a fun medieval style, Bronze Age, Iron Age battle, but then still having the 240, having grenades and stuff like that. I think we successfully managed James, who's always a bit of a wild card. And like, I'm going this way. Great, you're now a private E1, and I'm jumping over the wall, doing this. But love the fact that we got to take his eyeball. That was a big thing for me.
I think we need to give Benny's stripe to my dice because my dice rolls were rocking today.
I thought he was cheating, and then I went and tested it. I'm like, the first roll out the gate was a 1. I'm like, it works.
You and me, man. We roll 1 so often.
If you, my magic dice pad that I was using, courtesy of Ted Lehman, was like, I usually roll really badly. If you watch the show enough, I have terrible rolls, and I'm honest about them. I'm like, 1, yay, I needed that saving throw, which sucked with James because every saving throw was make a save or you're dead. Okay,
you're a pineapple.
You're a gay pineapple. But Ted Lehman over on the Forgotten Ruin fan book page where I posted that, he is putting up those dice pads on Etsy, and he's got some even better, like a Carl Gustav Don't Care and Orcs, just another victimized minority group, all with the Forgotten Ruin logos.
There we go.
So if you want those inappropriate things that will get you banned from Facebook, head on over to the Forgotten Ruins Fantasy, and he's going to start selling those on Etsy, and they're really cool. And Ted is an excellent craftsman, and I'd like to get him on the show and let him play sometime.
That's cool.
Yeah. Get me his details, and I'll set it up.
That almost doesn't need to be a dice pad. You almost need to frame that. That looks cool.
It's now my mouse pad. I don't think I'll make it like a dice pad, but I would like to have it sewn into my motorcycle jacket, so that'd be fun.
Right.
But then, people. What? Go ahead.
I was gonna say I did like the. I mean, if you're still talking about the pad, I was gonna say I did like your twist on the cannons. I didn't see that coming, but I picked it up right away. I thought that was kind of cool with the magic.
Which twist?
With the fact that they didn't need the powder.
So that was once again another instance of your powers coming into you.
I was wondering about that.
You're kind of like we were talking after the Galaxy's Edge show. You're kind of like a baby rattlesnake that can't handle his venom. When you pop off, it's either a little bit or a lot. You don't have any control over what's going on. So
I'm still trying to manage my whispers.
Yeah. Have you figured out what that is yet?
Clearly, I have not.
So
it's nature around him. That's what my guess. It's nature around him talking to him.
I mean, that's why I was going. Like, do I see anything? I mean, I'm staring at in a direction. It's like I'm wishing things to pop up out of the ground and consume the orcs. I mean, or the zombies.
And that was a creepy thing too. Is I tried to go. I was talking to the guys after the show, and I was a part of the we didn't actually invade Haiti invasion, and for like weeks we got all these classes on on the culture and the people and stuff like that. But a big part of that was learning about voodoo, and those were some of the most interesting classes. To see that zombieism is more of a religious rite than it is some horrible thing that's supposed to happen to you. That their mysticism and the belief in the Loa, the different spirits that and saints that inhabit the island, just really, really wild. So, but yeah, I wanted you had most of that village just zombified in just a few minutes, and now coming against you. And then, of course, I took a little inspiration from Hit and Fade, which is, if you look at your screen, you can see the image of it as part of our background. Hit and Fade has this great scene where it's like, the Rangers are doing some damage and they're being Rangers and they're just messing some stuff up. And then all of a sudden the bad guy's like, you don't think this has been a battlefield for the last 10,000 years since you've been gone? And suddenly you got more skeletons and zombies and stuff like that. So that was like one of my favorite parts of the book.
Yeah, I really like that part when he's getting the glimpse into the death god Lich's persona, and then suddenly he's able to realize, oh, the Rangers are actually fighting on top of a barrow, and this guy's just pushing more troops into the battle, and they're like, oh shit, But yeah, that's the fun part about the undead, and I don't know. It's I love the concept of voodoo dwarfs. That's just really cool, and they're really freaky like this. I mean, I like, of all the monster types I like the undead. Like, I think they're just really interesting.
So what do you think of their blood magic so far?
It's creepy.
I was kind of wondering, when we had all those villagers there that were, I guess contributing their essence to, raise those blood golems or whatever. I wasn't sure whether or not that was like a temporary thing or some spell, but clearly when they started turning into mummies, I was like, okay, well, I guess they're too far gone. They're not coming back.
So yeah, the voodoo dwarves have. I was talking to Nick. God, it has to be like almost 2 months ago now. And he was like, yeah, and there's voodoo dwarves. And I'm like, and my brain exploded. I was like, yes. So I wrote their spell book, their culture, their, why they are like they are.
You created the voodoo dwarves. I just said 2 words together. and I just do that a lot. I'm like, how about this and this? So these are totally they're awesome.
When the backpack full of shrunken heads gets exploded today by the voodoo dwarves and James may be dead, I don't know. We'll find out next week. Stay tuned. That means it's your fault, Chaos Actual. You killed James Ward.
Don't.
Yeah, well, no. Let's be fair and let's use James's terminology. James killed James.
I find it ironic that he loves to say that, and I'm like, your entire play style is you trying to kill yourself. I'm not sure if this is some sort of weird Freudian death wish that you have, or do you think by virtue of your celebrity that you're just invulnerable? Because I would tell you that if I was running this game, you'd have been dead 6 months ago.
Well, that's the thing too, because you guys had the several encounters with these things, with these dwarves, and this particular clan being so heavy into ritualized blood magic and dark spirit magic. But meanwhile, you got a dude carrying a bunch of shrunken heads, one that's inscribed with the runes that make half of their magic work, so and JR, we were talking after the Galaxy's Edge podcast, and I was like, yeah, so you had voodoo dwarves and then you had shrunken heads in a backpack, and he was like, oh crap. I said, yeah, you don't think those two went together and that's what caused the explosion?
The good news is next week I will have my new dice. I put the link in there so you can share them from our sponsor. I decided to since they were sponsoring us, when I got new dice, might as well buy theirs. And I'm pretty pleased. So hopefully my bad luck streak will be over, and I can get like 5 billion 20s in a row, like Wilbur Aloysius.
Hey, that was Google being kind to me for once in my life.
Your rolls definitely couldn't be worse.
Yeah, that's true. Can't believe you stovepiped again. But yeah,
at least it didn't explode in the barrel.
Yeah, you came close. But the blood magic, all the spells and stuff like that. There's a lot of its variations, just creepy variations of window dressings on old spells, like the what do you call it? The smearing blood across the bar last session, where you got to see through, like, the eyes of a dead man and stuff like that. Those were just scrying spells with like voodoo trappings. But the thing where the blood golems came out of the ground and stuff like that, and they drained the life force of those villagers to do it, is a form of teleportation. But it's all like you have to kill a lot of people in order to do that.
So I have.
Go ahead.
I have two. I'm curious to see, and I don't want you to tell us because it'll be fun to find out if the magic that made those cannons fire without powder sticks. Because if it does, I bet Nick's going to have all kinds of fun turning his pirate ship into a proper pirate ship.
Oh, baby.
I'm looking forward to that.
He's fun when he gets on the pirate ship. So I'm like, please let this last just so I can see what the hell crazy shenanigans he gets up to.
Well, that's the thing, is that I kind of assumed that, either that the plunger itself was magical, which I think
which is
that
what
was
I thought.
That I think that was JR's running assumption, or whether or not JR's magic was running through that like a wand kind of thing. So
I think it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I guess we'd figure it out one way or the other when someone else tries to use it and it didn't work.
We already did, because we had Crowley help Lamb load again, and they fired without the ramrod there. So I think it charged the cannons and then stuck with them.
Yeah.
But Wald won't tell us. He's just going to give us the stink eye, and we'll find out next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, should be interesting.
I think it's funnier if it's not magic, but he thinks it is.
Well, there's an Arthur C. Clarke quote somewhere around there. Yeah.
So now, like the campaign that we're playing, is that one you're going to make as like a supplement when the RPG goes live? Because you said that was coming soon.
I don't know. I'll leave it to the chat. Would you guys want an adventure path following the exploits of Pelican 6-4 Heavy? Because if that's something you want me to do, you need to tell me sooner than later.
Or do you want a competent team?
Well, you're just going to be on the plane. It's up to you where you crash.
So was it possible we could have crashed somewhere else? Or...
It depends on the GM.
Okay.
It would depend on the GM. I chose off the coast of Florida, where the Caribbean islands became huge as a result of thousands of years later volcanic activity and stuff like that, as opposed to the ruin. The ruin, caused some issues. And now you have an entire chain of islands that is huge, whereas before they're about a little smaller than the length of Florida, and now in the map that we have, they're roughly almost the length of the eastern seaboard of the United States.
I guess the question is that due to like an ice age thing, or is that due to like some volcanic activity that raised the islands? Or
well, you
don't know.
Yeah, you really don't know, because you don't know where in the ruin you fell. I mean, because like the Rangers in the actual Forgotten Ruins story are like 10 grand ahead as far as years go.
Right.
You could be anywhere. That there's one group of Rangers that you landed with, and you don't know if there's. That it's very possible that this guy Trago that you keep hearing about, that he is from your time as well, because he keeps dumping technology into the area. You know,
So what I'm hearing is Nick can get our boat seaworthy, and we could go look for the moon god.
Well, go for
That
the
is the
moon.
best. That's the best line in any book I've ever read. That scene.
Jabba want moon god potion.
So that's a question. I guess we'll find out maybe next week. But yeah, does the tree potion thing it gives you I guess regenerative powers, but like it's not gonna like restore a lost limb or something like that, or will it?
It brought my limb that was inoperable back
Back,
to functioning, but it wasn't gone.
It
Right.
wasn't
Good
gone.
question.
right?
So I mean, that thing ate half of James's
Benny?
face.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will Benny be the one-eyed curmudgeon from now on? Yeah, it's like
I think so.
So it's possible it replaces the eye and he can see again, or it's possible, like the chat was suggesting, it just heals the area around the eye, but the eyeball
He has a
itself is
very
gone.
He has a very nicely healed socket.
yeah.
So the I like to when I'm writing adventures or when I'm writing adventure campaigns, I like to seed stuff early, right? So that you see it later on and you go, holy crap! Like the thing with the guy with the machine gun that you pasted. This was Adventure 8, and that happened on Adventure 2. So you guys went through 6 other sessions to get to here, and you're now seeing the consequences of that action. And that's where those potions come in. Those potions are tied into what's going on in the area. So I like to seed stuff like that, because I mean, it's fun to do a dungeon crawl where all you're doing is rolling dice and smashing stuff. But to me, that gets old after a while. It's more like a board game.
Yeah.
I need to, for me, when I'm playing an RPG, I really need that story. I need something that makes it interesting. Like you guys adopting piracy and building a ship and creating this kind of like this small band that you're creating.
Well, this is a natural mashup between author skill and DM skill.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, as an author, you want to seed things. You want things to, have readers have aha moments, or players in this case. So, sure, I think that makes it fun.
So Nick, when I found the ring, the quartz ring that you now have, all we knew was it made the guy go fast, but we didn't necessarily see the like shifting in time. So what was your first thought when you realized instead of just running really fast, like it's almost like mini teleporting? Because that shocked me too.
Yeah, blinking is what that is. It's a lot more fun, I think.
And like dangerous when you're facing somebody, because they go to swing and you're gone and you're suddenly behind them and ramming them through the back with a sword.
Yeah.
Or you accidentally appear in the middle of the blade.
It doesn't really work like that.
No?
So no. Okay. yeah, that wouldn't be beneficial to the guy wearing the ring. But yeah, it's if you look up like blink dogs,
yes,
that's a classic D&D monster. That's not a monster. They're friendly to most player characters that aren't dickheads. And that was their big thing back in the day. They blinked, and they were the natural enemy of displacer beasts that come from like that same stock and can do the same thing. You guys have encountered that. You set it on fire a couple of episodes ago. But yeah, those things are nasty too, and they do the same thing. They to an extent, the blink dogs actually shift from one space to another. The displacer beast creates an effect to where it looks to be 3 feet one way or another from where it actually is. So you go to hit it and you're just hitting empty dirt because it's not actually standing there. It just appears to you like it is. So yeah, those things are nasty too.
So how would you fight something when you can't see it? Would it take a magic weapon or some sort of magic sight?
There's all sorts of tricks and tips that you can do for that players have devised over 40, 50 years of gaming, the old throw paint on it. That's worked, like throw paint on the ground and watch where the footprints, peel the paint up.
But I thought like the blink dogs are kind of like the kind of thing where they don't necessarily have a direct control over how long they're invisible, but it's just on a cadence that they just hop.
Well, that's the blink dogs when they're in trouble. The displacer beasts. The standard explanation of a displacer beast is that it appears 3 feet to the left or right from where it is. Right. So it's not actually, there's a projection of where it is, and its actual position in space and time is invisible. And then of course they have those crazy evil fanged tentacles that just, it's a pain in the ass to fight those things. So
Nick, are you already getting ideas on how to use that thing tactically now that you know what it is?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Join a blink dog pack.
Well, then he can howl at the moon god.
The next Forgotten Ruin, they've got to go. It's swamp phase, so they're going to be fighting a lot of lizards, a lot of swamp creatures. They're going to fight a dragon, and probably a lot of traps. So maybe there's a displacer beast, isn't it? Right? Hey, who knows?
I just want to see the dwarves go through ranger school. That is a thing that I need for my personal satisfaction as a human being.
They'll have trouble with swamp phase, that's for sure, because these ones, they immediately these dwarves are Swiss. They're not necessarily Scottish. They're Amish, but they're like a violent Swiss Amish biker gang. Go figure that out. And they don't like water. They've telegraphed that repeatedly. Water is not for us.
That's what happens when you're kind of dense.
Oh my God! Yeah, in Hit and Fade, they are. I just love the way that they come in. They beat the crap out of everything, and then they're just like, "All right," and then they walk off. And there's no real huge conversation with them. It's just, and then they go do what they got to do.
And they're always busy. That's the thing.
They're always busy.
They're always busy doing the next thing. And then they fight this all-night battle. They march back through the swamp. They get to the ORP, and the Rangers are all time to consume calories and clean weapons. And the dwarves are like, "Could we again?" And they're all, and the captain's like, "Well, we're gonna leave in 6 hours." And they're like, "Well, could we just make some steaks? We'd feel a lot more comfortable." Even after all that, they still want to fortify. That would make them happy.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
So are they going to make the female shave their beard?
Say what?
I was going to say, when they go through ranger school, are the females going to have to shave their beards too?
My female dwarves don't have beards. That's weird. my female dwarves are hot. They're like the cute, buck and change chick that you like.
It was it was funny because I was waiting to see if you had said anything, right? So we shared this a little bit on the Galaxy's Edge podcast that we did a little while ago. So I don't know. Can you see the screen, Nick?
Yes.
All right. So this is kind of like your path up and down the coast that you went when you traveled to the Broken Teeth. Right. And I have, and I'll zoom in as much as I can. I think that's as far as I can go. Yeah, that's as far as I can go. So I put this as the image for Sarah Volta. I wanted to see if you would say anything before I changed it.
No, that's terrible.
That's great.
So you had the what do you call it? There she is right there in all her glory.
Yeah.
That's not quite that sexy anymore.
No. So I mean, I have the image that's gonna go there from the same artist, Dean Spencer. He's a British guy, Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, just really all around cool dude. He did this one as well, and I'm like, I need this for my life for a week, just to see if anybody was. What is it?
What's the artist's name?
Dean Spencer. He's from the UK. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guy. He does a lot of role-playing game art, stock art, and stuff like that. He's got a Patreon where, yeah, he's really good. He's got a Patreon where he grabs a lot of business to create the stock art, and then he sells it later. So this will be the actual, like I said, I was waiting to see if you were like, dude, no.
You know what? Everybody can make whatever they want. In my mind, they don't have, they don't have beards. Not, hey, maybe the ones here do, but the ones in what's called Switzerland, which is called the Stone Kings, no, those chicks are hot.
Yeah. So this is the image that's supposed to go there.
Dwarf chicks, baby. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Nicole's already jealous of the imaginary game I'm playing.
Can you see that image, Nick?
Oh yeah, that's nice. See, there you go. She's okay. She's a little brawny.
she is a little brownie.
She looks fun. She's a player.
But yeah, I put that in there. I was like, I wonder if anybody's going to give me shit about this. So, all good. But yeah, so you guys hit the blood dwarves, and then you dipped into your own personal moon god potion with those when you guys started getting hit kind of hard. Do you know how many of those you have left?
We each grabbed 11, I think.
No, you didn't grab 11. There were 20 total.
I think we didn't we each get 4 or 5?
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 each.
Oh, I wrote 10 on my character sheet.
No, you didn't get 10, JR. Nice job.
Then I don't know. I thought we each had 10 because I wrote 10 of that and 10 of the flame potions.
Mm-mm. He said there were 20 total. I know I didn't take any because
you don't believe in
they're
it.
Just green liquid.
So we can figure it out. We've got 3 that we used, and
I know how many you've used already. I was wondering if you did.
No, I had 10 on my sheet, and I subtracted it to 9. That's why I was joking about the 11 because I had 10 on the sheet, but apparently my sheet is wrong.
Yeah, everybody took a handful. So yeah, you got a couple in between, 3 or 4 in between each of you, except JR, who's already used 2 of them.
Well, no, because the 2 I used were from the batch I had that we found in the building, and then we got more.
Yep, you used 1 coming out of the grotto, and then when you got into a dust up in the courtyard with those like wolf armor warrior dudes, you had to use another one because your arm wasn't working properly. Yeah, but
I grabbed, like you said, like 3 or 4 in the building, so I still should have had 2 left over.
Oh no! You see, you used 2, but you got 2 left because you used 1 in the courtyard, 1 today, which means you got 2 left.
Okay, and that's not
sound like an addict.
Is that counting the ones that we? Let me update my sheet. But is that counting the ones that we got after when we killed the tree and we found more?
Yeah. That there was 20 total.
Okay.
Yep. What I'm surprised at is you guys have some loot that's rattling around that you haven't played with yet. So,
what loot would that be?
You haven't mentioned it, so
some of it blew up in a backpack.
Well, that's
so I've been trying to get that stupid bull necklace to do something. With my luck, it's like, it was never anything. It's just a bull necklace.
Oh, you don't know. You'll have to see.
But I'm trying to think what else we grabbed. We grabbed the napalm, and there's just standard weapons.
You think so?
I mean, I didn't get the just meteor weapons. I think that's what it was, right?
You don't get the meteor weapons. So what do you think happened to those today? Because Wilbur and Chaos Actual had their weapons get weird.
I think they need to be recharged.
They're being jammed by the little dwarf guy.
Yeah, I think he GG'd us.
It'd be interesting to see what happens next.
And if James did die, because we don't know yet, because of the way we left it, does that mean he'll leave us alone now that he got his revenge?
Why do you think
claim his potions?
Freaking moon god potion addict. Oh,
So I wonder if we cut off limbs and like try to grow our own sprouts, if we can make our own moon god juice. That's an idea.
What the dwarf that I had the 240 unlive when he showed up with his white flag? What was he gonna say?
he was going to say, "You give me the master sergeant, and we'll split."
All right, so this is a moment of truth, Nick. Would you have given him up?
Yeah, he was gonna.
In a heartbeat.
He was gonna say, if you give me him, I'll take my crew and go. And then if you were going to like press him on it, like, no, that's not just going isn't enough. We feel insulted. Yeah. He was probably going to give you a magic item and explain to you a little more about the ruin. If you agreed to give him James, and he would have what do you call it? He would have abandoned the attack if you had at least let him cut off an ear.
And now his little tiny corpse body is washed up on the sand somewhere.
Yeah, you pounded. You were just like 240. That's way. Yeah.
So
you pounded him.
So if he's dead, though, does that mean they won't keep coming after us, or does he have another brother named Joe or something?
Well, there wasn't the what do you call it? There wasn't the. He didn't have another brother, but he did have one of the other dwarves with him, the guy that was hiding in that bulk of rocks. He was the guy keeping the attack up.
And we almost got him, but someone rolled a 1.
I rolled a triple 1, dude. That was crazy.
Yeah, but that was on a 6-sided die, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you don't let JR touch your dice.
Like, Rothman, aren't you becoming a druid?
Supposedly, maybe. I haven't quite figured it out.
You should have tried to like summon sharks.
Well, I was trying to stare at the beach and make things grow or something, but
we got animals too. It's druids aren't just plants; they're animals too.
That's true.
You can become like the shark whisperer.
Sharknado!
See, all I see is you guys taking these strange, drug potions, staring out at the ocean, going, "Sharks, come to me," and nothing happening.
Yeah, but when
I had a crow come to me, so hey, it can happen.
When they suck down these potions and then turn into like the swamp thing, that's a little hard to ignore. Either that, or you're thinking, "Oh my God, what was in that rum?"
Well, I'm very nearsighted.
So I try to use my magic and figure it out like Wilder is doing, and all I get from Nick is, "Nobody cares, JR. We want to go over here and do this thing."
It's true. No one cares.
Oh my God.
Yes, and Crowley, your character is very nearsighted in more ways than one.
And that's why he's got the sniper rifle. Great.
Never has a life been.
No, he's got the M320. He's got the grenade launcher.
Okay.
I think it's the other guy we had last week that was the
Archangel.
Yeah, he was brutal with the sniper rifle.
Yeah, he did a good job.
He's hilarious too.
Oh my God, he does that Sao T impression. I just die.
Oh, that guy is hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny. He was
great.
funny.
This is fun. Sweet. I'm so glad it's sunny out. I'm probably going to put that dude in Strange Company.
Yeah.
That combat weather dude. Oh my God.
He just joins up and he's just like, he's the most enthusiastic PMC ever. He's always going on about the weather.
Did you see that, Rothman?
Oh my God. He summons a flock of baby sharks.
That'd be great.
I've been listening a lot to Lord Gasumba's channel. The guy's name is Jay Scott. He's a really big proponent of Greyhawk, and he's been keeping keeping the torches burning over Greyhawk for like the last 40 years in his campaign. And he was talking about like these elemental wizards and avenging druids and stuff. And all I could think of is that art from a few years ago where they were somebody was trying to make fun of Aquaman, and Aquaman comes out of the ocean standing on Cthulhu, and he's like, "Oh, he talks to fish." He goes, "How you like me now, fuckers?" So yeah, that was good stuff. But yeah, you could potentially be turning into any number of things. But yeah, so I've been trying to seed like hints of what is becoming, as opposed to like Chaos Actual, Nick taking his character and Errol Flynning some stuff over a bar today.
That was cool.
I'm surprised he hasn't suggested we run back to the city now that everyone's dead and steal their shit.
Oh, you mean the Reed Marsh Landing where everybody got pulverized?
Yeah. See what's left after the giant wave.
That's actually a good idea. Pick through the what's left.
Yeah, you could get that cloth back to resell it.
So I don't understand, James. Speaking of the big wave, like generally speaking, coves are protected, and that's a reason why people built around there, and so are lighthouses. So the idea of running away from something that's withstood the test of time and not been destroyed. I mean, this couldn't have been the first big wave to hit. And he's like, "No, I'm gonna run for the hills by myself." That was interesting.
Yeah, this is why we need a Sharknado from a resident druid once he becomes a druid.
So now James has always told us you never split your party in D&D. So I thought for sure when he ran off on his own that you were going to mollywomp him. You were going to be like, the wave lands on you and a giant sperm whale crushes you.
No, he just he ran away, and then when he came back, it was more funny to sit there and be like, "Just demote yourself."
You're back to fuzzy.
Tear your own rank off.
And give it to my dice.
Hit yourself.
I can see Nick. He's gonna be like, "Here's the whip. Just beat yourself.
Just beat yourself." My favorite line from Jill Sargent's was, "Do push-ups until I get tired."
Yes,
That was the best.
Yeah, I got the text. One of my buddies was on patrol today, and he was writing up some paperwork real quick, and he had us on in the background, and he was listening. So he texted me shortly after, and it was just 2 words: "Demote yourself." I was like,
I did like that one picture that you shared. Totally off the topic, but yeah, the one female ranger that graduated recently. I don't know when that was from, but
oh yeah. So the 82nd has a thing on their Facebook page when they graduate a ranger school class. When they have guys that pass the entire process, they post it up, and I was just geeking out because
first sergeant.
Yeah, they had a first sergeant go through, and I'm like, "What kind of stones do you have?" It's like, I don't feel like doing paperwork this week. Put me in for a ranger school slot. It's like, what kind of salty dog does that? That's crazy.
That's kind of like a lieutenant general going, why not?
Some guy who had enough. Basically.
Yes,
it was some guy who was tired of every like XO and captain coming in, just like, well, when you're ranger qualified, he's like, son of a bitch, I'm done with this. I spent 17 years listening to these I'm just gonna get the tab and just be like, and just fuck with everybody. So that guy, he did it out of spite. That's probably the only thing that kept him going.
Yeah, because by the time you're a first sergeant, you pretty much run on caffeine and hate.
Yeah.
So he was, I just thought that was hysterical.
That's like E8, right, or something like that?
That is an E8. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time you see the motivational quote, people don't fight because they hate what's in front of them. They fight because they love what's behind them. And I keep thinking, have you met an infantryman? We hate. Like, hate is what keeps us going.
Oh my God! But yeah, that article.
First sergeant is the second greatest rank you can get, because you have nothing but unconditional suck-uppery from all over the place. You don't have to do much, and you're just universally loved, and it's pretty great. The greatest is sergeant major, in which
command sergeant major, or sergeant major is just paperwork guy, or
no, command sergeant major is great because you're now basically the first sergeant with zero responsibilities
Right.
other than make sure the grass gets cut and make sure they hung the flag the right way every morning. And that's critical. Like if the flag is not hung the right way, you're not going to be a command sergeant major much longer. But if you just get that task down, you're pretty good.
So if you had to
Then
pick,
you just ride it into the sunset for retirement.
if you had to pick, and they were like, you could be a first sergeant, a sergeant major, or a warrant officer, which are you picking?
Oh, warrant officer. Yeah, total unaccountability.
and a constant stream of espressos.
Yeah. I mean, the first sergeant does have to show up for stuff and does have to give small mini speeches, but the suck uppery that he gets from every NCO is just, like great. Like Platoon's the only movie that really nails the suck uppery. Where they're just like they're totally sucking up. Everybody who wants to be a sergeant is sucking up to the platoon sergeant. All the platoon sergeants are sucking up to the first sergeant. The first sergeant can wail on every officer, including his own captain. It's great.
See, that's the one thing I never quite got, because I've never been uniformed. So, I mean, because strictly speaking, a second lieutenant outranks, a command sergeant major, but
In theory,
right, on paper, but
that's that old joke. What's the difference between a second lieutenant and a PFC? PFC done been promoted twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the idea is you can be a dick to that sergeant major if you want, because technically you outrank him, and if you tell him to do something, he gonna do it.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen is shit's going to get weird really fast after that, right? It's like, that second lieutenant comes in and goes, "Excuse me, Sergeant Major, I listen, you have the heartbeat of the men. Can you tell me why this guy just tried to have sex with a lawnmower?" And suddenly he's swarming in counseling statements. He doesn't understand why the heavy weapons section, all their gear is malfunctioning, and now he's on the hook for all this, and he's got to keep answering to the old man. And meanwhile in the chow hall, Top's just sitting there with his cup, and he's like, "How you doing, PFC? You work for that second lieutenant so and so? You do? Come on over here and come talk to me a while." Stuff's gonna get weird, or even worse. He looks at that sergeant major, that first sergeant, or that platoon sergeant, and says, "Should we go this way?" And the first sergeant sticks his head a little bit out the window and sees the epic fail that's about to happen, and goes, "Sure, sir, you should try it."
And then once the CO finds out that second lieutenant was rude, or inconsiderate to that first sergeant, then that second lieutenant is going to be standing in front of the captain, and the first sergeant is going to be standing there with a big shitting smile right to his right, and that captain is going to just tell that second lieutenant exactly how life actually works.
Well, that
was
my
the commanding
theory.
Officer of my ROTC detachment, sir.
Yeah, see, that was my theory, because someone who's a high-ranked NCO is gonna have the ear of some at least middle-rank officers, and and that second lieutenant is eventually gonna hear from down, up above what happened, I mean, so someone's gonna hear that stupid things are happening, and
the real way that it works is that at every level of being an officer, your NCOs are there to teach you how to do your job at every level.
Yeah.
But it's just a delicate balance where if you learn from them, they will award you with the leadership that your men will give you. If you try to teach them, they'll take that leadership away from you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times. We had one guy that he was just an absolute mess of a human being. Like, this dude did not belong to be a lieutenant, but he was polite as hell, and just thanked everybody for their insight and blah blah blah. Right, and started putting things into putting things into operation when he would ask people for advice. And platoon sergeant brought us over, and we were like, "Look, we know this dude is as smart as a bag of hammers, but what you're going to do is you're going to make him shine, because that's a dude who won't forget that you helped him.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know, and then we've had the other way too, where dude came in and was like, "Now that I'm a second lieutenant, fresh out of college with all my experience, let me tell you how this is gonna work." You know, and there is nothing funnier than my platoon sergeant at the time. Coke bottle glasses, right? So much so that if he looked down too fast, he could start forest fires. He had a leg that bowed out because he had like so many knee surgeries from all the airborne impacts that his leg was permanently crooked. He looked like he had spent his entire life in a saddle, and he had just a little bit of a pot belly, even though he could run for days, you know, and he would be like, "Sure, sir, you tell me how that works." And then like he would turn just a little bit and you'd see that President's 100 tab on his shoulder, and you knew this dude's life was over. You know, you just knew, because anybody who's part of that crew is just going to finagle his way into ruining somebody's day if he wants to. So yeah,
You've never seen how bad a second lieutenant's life can get until you've been on a raid at 4:00 in the morning. The moon has gone down and he can't find the objective. and the battalion commander and the sergeant major is out there evaluating, and he's, well, I can't find it on the map and everything like that. I just remember sitting there watching that going, why would I ever want to be an officer? And then like a year later, I'm an OCS.
So how long did you spend in the O Corps?
Not that long, because it was Desert Storm. So they were like, hey, who wants to be an officer, because this is going to be a really big war. And I'm like, I want to be an officer. And then it wasn't a really big war.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then got out and then got in with California National Guard, and they were like, that was when it was still no-go. So like a couple of drills, and my platoon there really liked me, and it was like fun and everything like that, but it was a little clown show at times.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you think that that's how it's going to get on the pirate ship, or are you going to keep it type shit?
Oh no, it's going to be chaos. Because chaos works. Trying to over control things, and trying to turn when you're a leader or you're a creator or anything like that, trying to turn anything into your personal D&D campaign of the way that you think everything should go is how you either have a heart attack or a stroke, or B, get knifed in the back. It's kind of like Trump's leadership style was great. Just create chaos and then make everybody overachieve trying to get things done.
It's funny you went to Trump, because I was thinking, I don't think Biden plays D&D.
I know that in Biden's life right now, there's a wizard somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a wizard who stole.
There's also a necromancer. Trust me.
Yeah.
So once you guys get on the pirate ship, you got to see what the aftermath is of what happens down on the beach, or on the ramparts. But once you get on the pirate ship, what's the plan? Do you think you're going to go back toward the Shattered Sea and hit all those islands, or are you going to raid up and down the coast?
Taco machine.
I think there will be yo-hoing. I think that there will be a bottle of rum.
A lot of singing sea shanties.
A lot
of
pirates life for me. Yeah, a lot of pirates life for me.
As long as there's rum involved.
I would like to touch on all the pirate things. I would like to pillage. I would enjoy exploration. I would enjoy sex with mermaid women. That would be fun.
He's going
it's a
to
game. It's a game, Nicole. It's a game. We don't really have sex. They all look like you. It was just, I was thinking of you when I was with the mermaid.
If you hear any splooching noises, that's Nick being knifed.
And then get to the forge. But don't be like aggressively punctual about it. I think the cool thing about the pirate life is that you should stop and smell the roses. You're out of the military now. Military is all A to B. Get it done. Look at me. But now that you're a pirate, it's sort of like play on your own, right?
Absolutely. Sparky 6868 is saying, I know a lot of shanties. This is my dream job.
I think he just wants a chance to not DM to actually get to play.
Oh yeah, yeah, because he's the one that's running the Forgotten Ruin game over on his own Twitch channel.
We were talking about earlier, we were saying like it would be fun to get some real live rangers in there to actually play this, and like Walt was saying, I think JR should. I don't know that JR has the skill level, but it would be cool if we had Sparky, who I think is a pretty qualified DM, run our rangers with you, Walt, like Nick Garber, maybe a couple other guys, Jeremy Spires and stuff like that, through like an actual module. You know,
That would be dope.
But as rangers who just insert. You know what I mean? So like say Lost Caverns of Tizagoth or something like that. You know, we set it here. So you get to go in there with, you know, Mark 18s and then Mark 48s.
You know how this would go, right? It would be Nick Garber and I yelling at each other back and forth like an old married couple.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. we come from the same tribe. But yeah, me and him arguing with each other like an old married couple, and then some dude coming up with a remote control car and a camera on it going, "Nah, I got this. We'll look ahead for traps."
Perfect. They use drones now. No more remote controlled cars.
Oh my God.
They use little butterfly drones.
Those things are so cool. I just, all the toys now, I really wish I had those toys back in the day, but then I realized that there are guys who can't use a map. Yes. So I'm like, nah, I'm all set.
The toys are nice, but toys can make you weak. Like if you can't shoot iron sights, then you don't need, you know, a red dot sight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I heard, oh, that's stupid thinking. Those things never fail. Have they never seen a sandstorm in Iraq?
Right.
That breaks everything.
So Sparky6868 is saying, oh boy, that'd be a trip. I'm going to take that as his agreement to run that game for us.
Yes.
Naylin is one of his players is saying, oh yes. And Knight of Barsoom is like, Naylin, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. Sparky will just try to touch all the no-no spaces.
No, he will interface with it like Nick. He will be the Captain Kirk of that episode, and I'll interface with it.
Yeah, that would be Nick Garber. Will be your interface guy.
And his wife will stab him in the background.
Yeah,
glorious.
Oh yeah. I'm wondering what other Rangers I could get to play.
We can have Rangers or military types. We could have JR. You know, anybody. You know, it would be interesting to have Rangers, but it would be fun to see them mollywomp, to use your word, like an old school classic module. That'd be fun.
Yep. You know what happens when the door is trapped, right? You demo brick the wall. Yeah, there'd be a lot of that going on. Nope, I ain't springing that trap. Blow a hole through the wall.
That's the way you do it.
Breach,
and I think that's what Jim said they used to do.
Yep. Go through the wall. Absolutely. The that would be interesting. We could get Archangel to do play the Sauti guy.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yep. The ceiling's dripping. I'm sensing condensation.
There's a little bit of light fog here in Ravensloft, but so you might want to wear a jacket, guys. When he did that, I could not control myself.
If this offends you, Jason wants you to send the hate mail to him at.
No. Jason loves hate mail. If there's anything that I say, Jason takes full responsibility.
You know we're both going to get dad look for that one, right?
I think he was already upset today with the Galaxy's Edge fan page that's getting trolled right now by unsavories, and he just seemed like, when I told him about it, he just seemed to like that sort of very battalion commander, like, I'm basically like a platoon sergeant. I just show up and tell him all the problems.
Wait, what's happening?
That's all my job, is just to tell the problems, and then Jason has to go fix them.
What's happening with the fan page?
We'll talk off. Okay.
Huh? We'll talk off.
Yeah. He wants to Sun Tzu this shit. He's got plans.
He does. Yeah,
he's like got an op order, like there are maps involved with pins and walls. It's glorious.
There's spy shit going down.
Yeah, it's all fun and games until somebody puts on a funky beret and starts trying to act all hua. So
We've
go
got
ahead.
cooler than a beret though. We've got Captain Power's pirate hat.
Yeah, he's got the pirate hat. Yep, you do have your devilishly sewn attire, which you're going to need because you guys keep ripping out of your clothing.
I was just thinking that when I like destroyed my third set of wolf armor, it's like we should probably kidnap one of those seamstresses because we're gonna need that.
Yeah, because
Well-
that's a reasonable answer to when you need something. We should kidnap that person.
I mean, we're pirates, right? I'm trying to adjust my thinking for your piracy,
Oh,
Well, I
I
don't
see.
think it's going to
Okay.
do you much good since she's probably drowned right now. So
or a zombie that we killed.
yeah,
Zombie
I wonder if-
seamstress.
Oh my god.
Was the brother of Frankenbeans in the group that was zombified?
They were not, but they unless they left at some point, they might have gotten a little wet because that giant tidal wave slapped the beach pretty hard, including the trading town. There's not much of it left.
The good news is we've got cannons for our new ship of the line.
Tidal
And-
Wave was my dancer name at a sort of a male stripper pool club.
You were Magic Miking that stuff back in the day.
Yeah, I was Tidal Wave.
He was also Cheeseburger, according to earlier. So
That was
Maybe-
that was at the other club. That was Chippendales that didn't have water.
Oh my god. The chat is talking about hiding bodies, and now they're what do you call it? They're talking about you don't need shovels if you bring back Vlad the Impaler. They're getting like medieval on things.
You don't need shovels if you have pigs.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, because they'll eat anything, even the bones.
Yeah. There's a ranger that I know that says always know a good pig farmer.
Yeah, you just need to cut them up into like biteable size chunks. So yeah, that's all you have to do.
actually, they'll do that for you too if you just throw the body. I saw that on an episode of CSI, so you don't need to call your CIA friends.
I was gonna say, I would differ with that opinion, but
I was on CSI.
Were you really?
Yep, I was a sketch artist in a courtroom when one of the CSI people was in trouble. Like
Cool.
this would have been like 2006, maybe.
Did you
I
have
have a
one?
buddy who was a corpse because I think that's the, like all the shows before CSI, it was always
Yeah.
the informant was like
Yeah.
the guest, the kind of, I don't know what you call them, but there's a lot of bit roles.
Like a guest star, yeah, but like when you got a corpse
Right.
spot, that was
Right.
good because you got featured a lot and you were gonna get
Yeah.
a lot of pay.
But then you
The
also
only
get
one
that one
that-
shot that's just you dead on the slab, like.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, the only thing I ever tried out for was we went down to try and get to be an extra on like a Marvel movie.
Ooh.
Oh, nice. Do you know which movie it was?
Ant-Man.
Oh, nice. I like that one.
Yeah, they were looking for military people. So we were, and one of my buddies was like, dude, come on, I'll buy you coffee. I'm like, I do not want to have to stand in a damn line for 15 hours.
I was gonna say they wouldn't have to shrink you.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm already that size.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't work out. We didn't get the part. Oh well.
The Hollywood and the military should never ever do anything together because invariably it's just going to piss off every veteran. You know.
Yeah, well, except for Arlie Ermy, he fixed that at least that
Oh my
stereotype.
God.
So he was awesome. But it only ended up that way because he was kind of assertive about that.
I
Anyway,
actually think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say he was the perfect guy for that part.
He was fun. Oh my god, that movie was so hysterical when it came out.
Actually, so was a story like that's very Arlie Ermy like that a lot of people don't touch on is Apone from Aliens.
Yeah,
Was a drill sergeant and was a Vietnam vet, and he came out and did that and just smashed that role.
he was fun. He was
Yeah.
absolutely fun.
And then one of the guys who gets killed early on, who gave them like a lot of their tactics and movement skills, was British SAS.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I
Bob-
didn't know that part.
Bob Ross was a drill sergeant too, although you wouldn't know it from his
Yeah,
persona.
but he was an Air Force drill sergeant. So
This is true.
that's like being a hall monitor. Come on, everybody! Today we're gonna roll socks. I'm not kidding. That's what they do. Like they only have one day with an M16. The rest
Oh
of
my
the time
God.
is like folding and rolling socks. That's how you qualify.
Ermy was genius. I love that role. Yeah,
So wait, let's look at the weather after we roll some socks. I want to wear a nice light jacket. It's gonna be a little misty.
Now you should write that in a short story for Forgotten Ruin.
No, that character's going in. He is going in Strange Company for sure.
Yes, he is. Is he going to be a warrant?
No, I think he's going to be like the new guy in Reaper Squad, and he's just going to be the most motivated dude ever. But he'll probably die.
Yeah.
The funny thing in my current book, I've got that magical sword that I've modeled against Arlie Ermy called Max. But yeah, it's like I'm going to be playing with that character quite a bit through that series. That'll be fun.
Nice.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, well, how far ahead do you have these sessions planned out?
I usually only go up to where you guys are roughly, and then I have a base idea of where things go. So with something like this, you can't really plan too far ahead. The only thing you can do is, hey, what do you guys think you're going to be doing this session? Are you now if you're in the middle of an adventure, that's easy because you're obviously maneuvering through that space. So as long as I have that space kind of designed, I'm good. Luckily, I usually have, and the rule set that we're using is fairly light and easy, so I can put stuff together on the quick, really, really fast. But as for who's chewing Knight of Barsoom, that's probably
Rothman.
yeah.
Me? Yeah, usually right now.
Someone's chewing.
So yeah, but I try and keep a lid on what's going on in the area versus what you're doing specifically. Because if you plan too far ahead and you guys are like, I don't want to be a pirate anymore, I want to be a space pineapple, then what if I plan too far ahead? Then it doesn't work. All I can do is plan what's going on in the area, and if you guys affect something, I can change that.
Hey, this goblin named Jib Job seems interesting. What is he all about? I want to go with Jib Job. Like that.
I think we kind of did that with the pirate ship because it was kind of going one way, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's a boat. Well, let's go rob people and sail the seas. Like it kind of took that turn.
Yep.
And now
Oh,
it's
wait.
tip of the line.
That's the way you see it. I feel that the boat was calling to me. I felt that clearly the boat was a plot device, a sign from, like, hey, this is where you need to go.
That's part of your character growth arc. Yeah, what do you call it?
It's also part of like how I am in real life. Like I follow like on Instagram like super yachts, things that are like, this is $65 million and this is what Leonardo DiCaprio's like B-team whores travel around in. I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that. Like I am obsessed with boats.
Do you ever see
my whole apocalypse plan, like if everything goes like to hell, to shit in LA, involves me violently taking a boat and getting out of town. Like I could drive out of town, but I'm like, well, this is my chance to get a super yacht.
Did you see the movie Love and Monsters yet?
No, I have not.
You must. It has that element in it.
Oh.
I like that Nick said that he'd violently take a yacht because he could probably just like casually go on one that's moored and take it, but he's going to go out of his way to make sure it's violent.
I have. It's better to be violent than to need to get violent.
Nick, did you see the scroll that Walt put up?
He says, Wolfen96 said, Nick, I was just telling my wife how in basic us USAF guys got a whole one day to shoot and weeks of folding socks and shirts into perfect squares.
That's true. The only reason I know that is because I went to DLI and I was there with Air Force people, and like I just come out of like Army basic, and I'm in my greens, and I'm all parade rest at the desk, and at the German thing, and they're like, and I'm like, when will I just show up? Like, when do I show up for the first day of class? They're like, oh, about 9ish or so, and I'm like, really? And then I got to know Air Force people. And I'm like, how was basic for you, sir? And they're like, well, we just folded socks.
I know
Did
at
you get
least.
to? Yeah.
I
But
know at
like,
least
what is it like? Third week in basic training, they just shove that rifle into your hands, and it's now your girlfriend forever. And like, there's that scene in Hit and Fade where his Mark 18 gets chopped in half. And he's immediately like, "Oh shit, I signed for that."
Every military guy who's ever been an infantryman has his eye twitching.
Yeah,
you just gave me Forrest Whitaker eye.
yeah, yeah.
Yikes.
You know what's better than that is when the you going back to the platoon sergeant and the lieutenant. Having the lieutenant lose a set of nods and having the PFC turn them into the first sergeant.
Oh yeah. How about
That's-
that feeling in the morning when you're feeling around in your mummy bag and you swear your rifle was in there with you, and it's not, and your morning starts with a jolt more powerful than any caffeine could ever do for you, and it's the worst feeling ever. Like, oh shit, where's my rifle?
You tie that shit to your leg.
Yeah, it got weird. There were a lot of weird stuff like that. Then of course you went to NTC and people were putting stupid stuff in their sleeping bags or in other people's sleeping bags. All the creatures you find out there.
The only thing I put in my sleeping bag at NTC was the exhaust pipe off the engine because I was so cold. I started my Humvee up in the middle of the night and just stuck the hose into my sleeping bag. I'm like, I don't care if I get carbon monoxide, I'm freezing.
Yeah, you were the guys that we snuck up on and killed in their sleep.
I was warm when I died.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. We were sitting there like, yeah, we showed them. They went back to a cantonment area, got warm.
Someone posted a picture of the showers at NTC the other day, and I was back.
Oh God. For those of you who don't know, NTC is the National Training Center at Fort Irwin, California. It's about 2 hours away from Vegas, about 3.5, 4 hours from LA, and it's like dead set in the middle of nowhere. There's
27
nothing.
steps from hell zone.
Yeah, it's a crazy training area. Get that dry lake bed, trying to rush to the lake so you won't get hit by the tanks. Oh my God, that was crazy. But where do you guys think the adventure is going to take you next? Do you think you're going to be able to hit the high seas, or do you think you're still going to be dragging an albatross around your neck?
Yeah.
I think Benny died. I mean, he was already like right at with all those holes because it basically blew his back out. If it heals everything, but it doesn't refill the holes, he's done.
I would imagine Betty's dead, but
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think
the pirate ship, definitely. We have to save that, right, guys?
yeah. Well, it was already saved. So the question is, how many cannons were there total? Because I can't remember from the brief glimpses of the map.
It just so happens I have the map.
I have the map. I have the map. I have the map. I have the map.
Swiper, no swipey.
Yeah, let's see what we can see. It's coming up. Our friends at Roll20.
JR clearly has kids of a certain age to know that phrase.
I don't know how Nick knows unless he just watches that for the fun of it later.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah.
Brian Regan made fun of it one time.
There were two over there, a third over there.
Yes, you got let me just move the map so you can see it. So you got two over here.
All right.
Yeah, there were none up top, right? But then you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh yeah,
This side.
we're going pirating.
So that's 5 on each side. Well,
Yeah.
no, because we need a bow cannon.
We bought a ballista about.
Oh, we do have the ballista for the bow.
Aren't there like 3 or something?
So now you have a galleon,
Yeah.
you got like a legitimate war frigate.
No, I mean because you got to be up around 36 guns for that.
Eh,
This is a good bark.
we're
a
we're
sweet-
working
it's a
our way
sweet-
up to a war frigate.
Let's just put 10 on the same side and only attack them
On the left.
Yeah.
That won't end badly for us.
No,
Yeah.
it's fine. It'll work.
Did you ever did anyone ever play Sid Meier's Pirates?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Ah.
awesome.
Yes.
I like every so often I'll be like, I should find a copy of that and play that. Like they made a newer version that had like this lame ass dancing one part of it, but
What?
like the original version was pretty cool. Like the just like sailing around the map, getting into pirate battles was pretty awesome.
There was an Xbox game called The Legend of the Black Cat, and
Yes,
that was a
and-
lot of fun.
and that was I think wasn't that like a Pirates of the Caribbean like early game like, but its sailing mechanic was badass.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they actually had you could load cannons with the sail shredders.
Yes.
Basically the two cannonballs connected by a chain. Oh,
And
that
it would
was
go out there, which, and just rip the
Yes!
shred. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. I love and then like the land battles in the original Pirates were cool. Like I would take Panama with like it would be like something like 300 pirates versus like 110,000 Spaniards, or like you'd sack it and take it. You're like, yay. Oh man, the joy of piracy.
that's gonna be my text message thing. Let's see. We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes. So somebody will text message me and it'll be like, the joys of piracy.
The joys of piracy.
So-
Hey, if it all goes sideways, consider piracy.
no,
I'm already
don't.
there.
Yeah, you're in an area for piracy though.
So we need to get the Archangel character. Now is that an NPC now that he's gone? So we still have the
it's-
sniper.
He's still there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was working with you.
He's got to
So-
come back. We got to bring him back.
So we need to put him in the crow's nest with that sniper rifle. As long as he gets used to the yawing of the ship.
What you do is you sit there and you get close enough to where you can use like a bullhorn and be like, pull over. When they start flipping you off and stuff, you shoot the captain from a half mile out. Let me tell you again, pull over.
Speaking of shooting pirates from a long distance away, someone posted that Daniel Cadwell posted that Swordfish posted that meme in the Forgotten Ruin thing where it's from that movie where the seals cap the pirate and Tom Hanks. And what was it? It was like when the barbarian uses the wizard's spell book to like kill an enemy, and he goes, and it's all, look at me, I'm the wizard now.
Yeah, that was great.
That was glorious.
Oh my god. Where do you think you've tied up all the loose ends by taking out that dude's brother and
No.
Oh, we got one more dwarf hiding behind some rocks, but yeah.
if he's still there, because you haven't seen him, he hasn't
True.
stuck his head out. But what do you think about the dude that called the tidal wave?
That's a mage somewhere.
I think he needs a beating.
Yeah.
Right?
He was
But-
definitely not a dwarf, so
I'm still trying to figure out what those magic items we've got that we haven't touched.
Oh, they're there. They're there. But yeah, so he took 12 prisoners.
So can you give us a hint on who owns the item? My mind hasn't gone off that since you told me that an hour ago.
I could, but it would ruin all the fun. Yeah, it would definitely ruin all the fun, and ties into the guy we were just discussing, the tidal wave guy.
now it is interesting that the tidal wave guy is clearly not a dwarf, and it's not a voodoo dwarf. So, what is he? How is he associated? Are they allies? Is there another team of folk we have to worry about out there?
Faction.
We should team up with him against the tea guy who's been like putting prices out on our heads.
Well, do these guys work with the guy who's been putting prices on your heads?
Yeah.
We don't know yet.
Exactly.
Well, Nick is great at winning hearts and minds, so.
Night of Barsoom says, no, James will cut off the wrong thing, the wrong someone, and then we're hosed. Sinokin was like, no, don't worry about it. They were all in Benny's backpack and we're blown up.
No more evidence.
Anything we want to tell the audience before we shut the shades and crawl back into our own personal sleeping bags to suck up carbon monoxide to keep us warm?
We should
Truly
tell them
love
about
them.
awesome dice.
We talked about Awesome Dice a little while ago.
We should tell everybody Chag Sameach. So, happy Passover, happy Easter,
Oh,
etc.
there you go. Yeah, if that's your jam. Although I tried to ask my mom when I was younger if we could, in solidarity with a couple of my friends, if we could smear animal blood all over the door, and she told me she'd kick my ass. So that didn't work.
And it is Good Friday still officially for another hour and 40 minutes here. So
I'm the other side, so it's already passed. But thanks for everybody for coming out. We really appreciate all the people who've been following us and giving us subscriptions and spreading the word. Thanks, Sparky, and your crew for what do you call it? Getting more Forgotten Ruin stuff out and doing a game. It takes a lot of guts to broadcast this stuff online, and act goofy in front of like 90 million of people, of your closest friends. So. More power to you, man. Sinokin, can you put the animal blood on your mailbox to keep the bill collection notices away?
I need to try that.
Yeah, we use what you do is you put a string that connects to a pin, and you go from there. And we'll catch you next time where Sci-Fi Writers